Okay. All right, we are live. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Who be 186 back again with another video. I am live streaming this, but this is really just mainly just a video. This is mainly just meant to be just a basic video. Um, for some of you who probably may not know, this is mainly just a gaming channel. But I do have other interests, and I would like to expand on doing new stuff this year. Talk about some of my other interests. Like I've done some MMA talk this year. I do plan on expanding that. I've done some very little wrestling on here, and it's mainly because I don't really follow wrestling the way I used to. But since I decided to buy New Japan World at the beginning of the year. I wanted to watch WrestleKingdom this year live instead of kind of reading through it on Twitter or hopefully hopefully watching something on YouTube before it gets flagged away. Um, I wanted to watch it live. Now I wasn't able to because the show, at least in my time zone, it starts at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I had a hard time watching. I had a hard time watching that. But I just wanted to watch the show because I've been following New Japan for a long time now. Like off and on for I guess ever since middle school. With the because back in the day I was a big wrestling fan. Um I've always been kind of like the type of fan who is more interested in non WWE wrestling. For the most part, like back in the day, I was a big WCW fan. I was a bigger ECW fan, and and then in the early 2000s, I still watch WWE, but I was always looking for something that was different. You know what I mean? 'Cause I didn't like everything that WWE did, and I don't know. It's just something. This is how I am. This is how I've always been. But in the early 2000s, I discovered, Impact, TNA, and Ring of Honor. So I do follow it to an extent, but I don't really go out of my way to watch it like I should. So this year I'm trying to change that a little bit. Definitely, the one promotion that I feel like I can that can really grab my attention is New Japan, and I'll explain why later near the end of the video. But this video is really just about reviewing. This is about reviewing Wrestle Kingdom 12, which took place a couple days ago, and in the follow up show, which is the New Year's Dash. Now, Wrestle Kingdom, is New Japan's version of WrestleMania. It always is the first show of the year. It's been like they like New Japan's always done New Year's show, but it's been pretty much 12 years. For the past 12 years, they've marketed as Wrestle Kingdom. So this year, so this year's show, it was a big show because because obviously New Japan is trying to make headwinds into the United States. They're doing it, and they're trying to expand past Japan. You know what I mean? And they're trying to get to the United States, and obviously one of the big matches on the card was Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega. Pretty much the tagline was Alpha versus Omega. So that's why they pushed that match as a co-main event. And if you were listening to the English commentary, that's what they were trying to. They really were pushing that match as kind of like a co-main event. Calling Kenny Omega the best in the world, which listen, he's definitely he's definitely a wrestler of the year quality talent. That definitely is. Um, so obviously they were pushing. They're really pushing that match as pretty much like as the main event. So obviously they're trying to make a big splash in America. So you have that. But I'll try to start from the bottom. I won't cover every match. I'm not gonna even review every match. I'm not gonna go deep in I'm not gonna go like deep into detail, but I'll try to start from the bottom and work my way to the top. You had the opening match was the Young Bucks versus Roppongi 3K. Rocky Romero was in Show and Yo's corner. He pretty much got taken out early by a power bomb. Each member of the team of their teams um had they were had their backs being worked on. There's some cool spots when you know each member of the team had the opposing member of the team and a sharpshooter, and they were facing each other, and they just started like slapping each other, and then I believe it was Nick Jackson. Then ended it with a super kick on one of the Roppongi Vice 3K members. Um, they had it's a junior heavyweight title match. It was pretty much, it was crazy. It was a pretty crazy match. There's some psychology involved. Um, with the back work. But the Young Bucks won the match, 7-time champions. It was a great match. It was a great match. There was a open neverweight 6-man tag title match. I haven't watched this match yet, but it was Team Chaos with with the team of who's on the team? I Trent Beretta, Toriano, and somebody else. Oh yeah. Ishii. They won the match. I think it was a gauntlet match that they won. So they won the titles. Let's see what else happened. Oh, Cody Rhodes versus Kota Ibushi. This was a really good match. I really enjoyed this match a lot. Obviously Kota Ibushi is a phenomenal talent in the ring, and Cody Rhodes. I think as a character, I think Cody Rhodes is a fit. He has a great character. He's a amazing heel, and his wife is hot. Like this is my first time seeing Brandy Rhodes, like like fully. Like I know who she is, but I didn't really see pictures of her or nothing like that. Man, that dude's got a great life. That dude's got a great life, man. His wife is hot. Like she really is hot. Um, but and as a character, I like Cody a lot. But as a wrestler, I'm not. He kind of leaves a little bit to be desired, in my opinion. I haven't seen a singles Cody Rhodes match, but I have to admit he was great. Great heel work. It was a great match, and Kota Ibushi won the match. That was great. Let me see. They had now I can't remember the match order now, so I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna keep going and going. Tag team title match was on the line. Killer Elite Squad, which is Lance Archer, who I know him as Lance Hoyt in TNA, and Davey Boy Smith Jr. versus Evil and Sonata. Uh, and Evil and Sonata won the match. Again, I thought it was a good match. They were pretty much getting their ass kicked for the vast majority of the match. But near the end, it kind of became more even, and Sonata hit. I forgot who he hit. I think he hit Lance with the moonsault, and he won the match for his team. So they're tag team champion. And my hope is they're a tag team for a while, champions for a while, because I think both men as single stars I think will be big single stars in the company in the coming years. You know what I mean? Like especially Sonata. I'm a big fan of Sonata. So hopefully like hopefully this tag team reign is a lengthy one. They kind of like New Japan has a tendency to play hot potato with those tag titles. So I hope they have a lengthy reign. Let's see what else. Let's see what else happened. Oh, they had the never open weight title between Hiroki Goto and Minoru Suzuki. I didn't watch this match. I wasn't. I caught the tail end of this match live. I caught the tail end of this match live, and Goto won. And apparently, according to the story, um, this was a hair versus hair match. And it's funny because I do remember the last hair versus hair match that I was really invested in was Kurt Angle versus Edge. This was a long time ago, probably like I want to say 2001. 2001, 2002. But the funny thing about that hair versus hair match and what made this match similar is that you have one guy with long hair, Goto, and then you have one guy with very short hair and Suzuki, and his hair is short, but it's like one of those weird weird mohawk type, some weird shit like that. And it was the same. It was the same dynamic between Edge and Kurt Angle, who had vastly shorter hair. He lost and he got shaved, and Suzuki, he lost. Like I guess his team, his crew members, which is Suzuki Gun, they tried to whisper him away without getting the cut, but he pushed him away, came back, and he cut off a good portion of his hair, but he didn't really go fully bald until the next night, the New Year's Dash show. But I'll talk about that a little bit later. So you had that match, and then you had let's see, am I forgetting anything? Oh yeah, the Fatal 4 Way match for the title. This was my second favorite match of the show. This was a Fatal 4 Way between Will Ospreay, Marty Scurll, Kushida, and Hiromu Takahashi. And when I tell you this match was fantastic, like this is high flying wrestling at its finest. It was insane. It's just so many different moves, so many different combinations, so many different sequences. It was a great match, and Will Ospreay won, so he's the junior heavyweight champion for the second time. But it was a great it really was a great match. All four men performed very well. It was just a great match. If you get a chance to see it, watch it. It's a great match. And then you had the Intercontinental title on the line. Hiroshi Tanahashi, who's the champion, versus Jay White, who was back from doing overseas work. I know he was wrestling in Ring of Honor. I saw a match he had with Osprey and Ring of Honor. So he came back as a persona Switchblade, came back, attacked Tanahashi and challenged him for the title. Now to me, this match was fine. It wasn't a blowaway match whatsoever. It wasn't like super awesome. It definitely didn't touch Tanahashi's match with Naito last year. Definitely didn't do that. But I think the importance of this match, in my opinion, is getting over Jay White as a character, as a threat. And I thought they did a good job here. You know what I mean? He worked the leg. He had a good amount of offense in the match. And I think Tanahashi was hurt here. Like he's been dealing with a whole bunch of injuries. For those of you who don't know, Tanahashi is kind of like he's like New Japan's version of John Cena. He's a much better wrestler. Let's be honest here, but he's kind of like their version of John Cena. He's by all consensus their most beloved superstar top guy right now. You know what I mean? He's their top. He's their most beloved top guy right now. He's been at it for a long time. He's that guy, and like he's Intercontinental champion right now. He's had a great reign. This match was good. It wasn't great, but he has been dealing with a whole bunch of injuries. I think he still has the torn bicep. He had he had a bad knee going into it, and they kind of played that up in the commentary. So and Tanahashi did win at the end with the high fly flow. Again, it was a good match. It wasn't spectacular, nothing like that. But I thought it was a good match. But I thought the thing that they did very well in this match was they established Jay White as a legitimate threat to in the kind of like upper mid card tier. That's what they did. They stopped they pretty much what they did. They created a new star. That's what they did. So all right. So then after that, it was the Jericho versus Omega match. Like I said, they treated this match like the main event. I believe this was the longest match of the night. It was a no DQ match. I guess maybe to kind of like to kind of like hide some of Jericho's. I don't want to say try to hide some of his weaknesses because I think Chris Jericho can still go. Like he just coming off one of his best years in WWE with the whole festival friendship thing and the whole feud he had with Kevin Owens. So like he's been great this year. Like he's definitely still got it. He can still go, but obviously I don't think he can do that type of style of wrestling that Kenny Omega has done over the past year. You know what I mean? With the matches with Naito, with Okada, with Juice Robinson, he can't wrestle that style. Can't do it. So they used the no DQ stipulation, and I mean I would probably say for the first half of the match, it was kind of like a kind of hardcore type style match. They went outside. The first major spot in the match was Omega tossing Jericho into the pretty much tossing him into the announce table, and he went inside the ring, did a springboard, tried to land on Jericho on the announce table, but instead Jericho moves, and Kenny Omega crashed and burned on the announce table, and I think he hit Don Callis as well. He hit Don Callis as well, and yeah. Let me also say this: the commentary. I'm a big fan of Don Callis. He's an awesome color commentator. Like Kevin Kelly's really good too. I give him props, but I'm a big fan of Don Callis. Big time fan of Don. Um, Kevin Kelly after the whole thing happened, and Kevin Kelly asked him, "Are you all right?" And Don Kelly is like, "No, I'm not all right." Like, yeah, that made me laugh. But yeah, so it went. The match went outside the ring. At one point, Chris Jericho pretty much hit the referee, and then he attacked the referee's son, who's a young lion. Like the referee he hit was red shoes. They call him red shoes because he wears red shoes. He wears red shoes in the ring when he's refereeing. That's why they call him red shoes. I don't know I can't remember his name, but he has a son who's part of this Young Lions program in New Japan, which is kind of like a development stable for young wrestlers. Um, I guess you can kind of compare it to NXT to an extent, but it's not really like a separate company or nothing like that. It's just young guys, trying to make a name for themselves in the promotion. But that's either here nor there. So he attacks the referee, and then he attacks his son. Like Jericho was playing full blown heel here. He was awesome, playing to the crowd and everything like that. Yeah, to me, this was the match. This was the match of the show. This was my favorite match. And I would probably say for the last 9-10 minutes after the whole when there was a spot where Jericho was going up to the top, was going up to the turnbuckle or whatever. And then Omega caught him with a V trigger, and and Jericho landed on the table that was set up. I'll probably say after that spot, I thought it actually turned into a really good wrestling match. I mean, they were going hold for hold, move for move. Jericho hit the lion salt. He countered the one way angel with the lion tamer. With the walls of Jericho. Even went lion tamer style with the knee to the back, and Omega hit him with the one wing angel, and Jericho, he didn't kick out, but he grabbed the bottom rope, so he survived that. And then the ending of the match was he was gonna hit the lion salt. Um, Omega grabbed the chair, hit him in the back, and then got him up on the one wing angel, and pretty much hit him with the one wing angel on top of a chair, on the chair that he used, and got the win. To me, it was match of the night. It far exceeded my expectations. I knew the match was going to be good because you have two really good wrestlers in there. You have Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho. You know what I mean? But this far exceeded my expectations. This was a phenomenal match of the night, in my opinion. Then you have the main event: Taisuke Naito versus Kazuchika Okada, right? You have the best wrestler in the world, in my opinion, Okada, versus the most popular wrestler, and I would probably say he is my favorite wrestler in this promotion, Tetsuya Naito. Naito. I would probably argue he's the most popular wrestler right now. He's a damn good wrestler as well. Just saying. So you had the two top stars. You have arguably the two top stars in the promotion going at it for, in my opinion, the best prize in professional wrestling in the New Japan Pro Wrestling heavyweight title. Again, match. I don't want to say the match started off slow, but they're kind of feeling each other out or what have you. And then I probably said the last like 10, 10, 15 minutes of the match, balls to the wall action. It was a great match. It was a phenomenal match. Okada won with the Rainmaker, which actually kind of surprised me because I assumed that Naito was gonna win. I thought that the story that they built up with Naito when because this is not the first time they've wrestled each other at Wrestle Kingdom. They wrestled each other like 3 4 years ago. It was I believe it was the same spot that Omega Jericho had. It was the second match to the top, but definitely didn't have the same fanfare that Jericho and Jericho and Omega had. So the match didn't have a lot of hype behind it. It was still a good match, but it didn't have the same impact that this match had. You know what I mean? So they used that story to build for like 3 4 years of Naito, feeling disrespected, going to Mexico, you know, kind of embracing the Los Ingobernables persona that he learned in Mexico, bringing that back, you know, beating Okada for the title, and kind of like tossing the belt in the air in disrespect, and and then obviously he lost the title. He beat he I yeah did he beat who did he beat for the Intercontinental title? Oh man, I don't remember who he beat for it, but winning the Intercontinental title, building himself up to this moment, to winning the G1 against Kenny Omega, and and building himself up to win the title at Wrestle Kingdom to fulfill his destiny, and Okada won, and I was surprised by that. It was a great finish. He clocked him with the Rainmaker. I think it was the third one of the match that he hit, and he clocked him clean with it and got the win, got the clean win. So so yeah. So overall, like again, it was a great match. I'll probably say it's second best match on the card, next to Omega and Jericho. And just ahead of the junior heavyweight four way. But again, it was a phenomenal show, man. Top to bottom, great show. Best wrestling show I've ever seen. It was a great show, and it served it really, I thought, served its purpose as being an awesome show. Now, before I get to the New Year's Dash show, because I don't really have much to say about the New Year's Dash show, I just want to talk about some of the angles that happened. Um, who is the guy who's going to unseat Okada? Because Okada's been champion for, I want to say, a year now, over a year. He's been champion, and who is going to be the guy who's going to unseat him as champion? I thought it was going to be Tetsuya Naito, and it could very well still be Tetsuya Naito who beats him to finally end that reign. But to me, I think the guy who I think is is likely going to unseat Okada for the title is probably going to be Kenny Omega. You know what I mean? Because they had their great trilogy of matches last year. They had some people are arguing the greatest match ever at last year's Wrestle Kingdom. And they had a phenomenal match, 60-minute draw, several months later, and then and Omega got his win at the G1 Climax, final. I think it was the final match in the group stage. And yeah, man, like I think Omega is the guy, because I think they really are trying to um push into the United States, and even though Omega's Canadian, He's well known in the country. Just beating Chris Jericho, which is a big deal. And I think Omega's the guy who I think they want to push as the next challenger for the next champion against the guy to finally beat Okada. Because the one thing, even though Omega did beat Okada, he didn't win the title. He didn't beat oh, Okada for the championship. So you have that. So all right, so on to the New Year's Dash show, which is kind of like I guess like you could say it's the equivalent of the Raw after WrestleMania for WWF. Now this show mainly just consists of tag team matches, whether it's traditional 6-man, 8-man, 10-man tags or whatnot. What this show really is mainly about is setting up angles for future matches, right? So you had a I think they established that Minoru Suzuki is probably going to be the next challenger for the Intercontinental title against Tanahashi, and I can see Suzuki winning that title and um finally giving Tanahashi some time off. That dude's banged up. That dude needs some time off. I can see that happening. But there were two main angles on this show that, in my opinion, makes the show worth watching. One was the so let me set the stage for you for those of you who didn't watch, right? There was I believe this was an 8-man tag. Oh no, was it 8-man? It was I think it was a 10-man tag. Excuse me. And like at the Bullet Club won the match. Kota Ibushi was on the other team, and at the end of the match, Cody Rhodes goes after um Kota Ibushi, who's the man who beat him last night. He got Bullet Club. They're holding Ibushi. I think Rose grabs a chair and he's about to wallop Ibushi with the chair. Kenny Omega, who they're all part of the same clique, Bullet Club, comes in, rips the chair away from Rhodes. They start arguing back and forth and stuff like that. So, because the thing with Omega and Kota Ibushi, they were tag team partners in the past, and it's a very complicated situation there. So he pretty much saved his former tag team partner from getting annihilated by Cody. They're having back and forth, and then Cody decides, after this, I'm leaving, and the rest of the Bullet Club leaves. Then Omega grabs the microphone. He pretty much says that he wants the infighting in Bullet Club to end, and the way to fix that is by introducing a new member, and he calls out Jay White and tries to convince him to be part of the Bullet Club. So Jay White goes into the ring. He gets the shirt. After pondering for a little bit, he puts the shirt on, and everyone thinks that he joined Bullet Club. So he's raising his hand. They're raising hands. And they're embracing, and then Jay White pretty much turns on him, hits him with the what's it called? Blade switch or something like that. I forgot the name of his finisher, but he hits him with it, and pretty much walks off and pretty much setting up that program with Omega and Jay White, and the crowd responded well to it. Again, you're creating a new star, right? The second angle was what happened after the main event. After the this was I know this was a 10-man main event between Chaos and Lij. You know, Naito's team gets the win, and then he does a promo. I don't know what he said because I don't speak Japanese, but he does a promo and he's in the ring by himself. The rest of the Lij members, they're gone. Right, he's by himself. Embracing. Kind of like soaking in the embrace of the crowd, and then out of nowhere, Chris Jericho comes in and attacks Naito. Now, this is something I didn't know at the time, but apparently Naito in a press conference or something like that has something to say the about Jericho and the Omega match, and saying that they're trying to steal spotlight away from his match or something like that. And this is Jericho, going after him. So they're brawling with each other, and the referee, like crew, everyone trying to break each other up, breaking them up, and apparently that sets up a match between between Jericho and Naito, and that's gonna be interesting because in a way. These two men are very similar. You know what I mean? As far as not necessarily as far as moveset, but just as far as like you know, just as far as like this attitude. You know what I mean? Both men are badass dudes. So that's very interesting. So you had those two angles happen during the New Year Dash show. So it'll be very interesting to see where they go with this, man. Like I'm very interested. Definitely, I'm definitely interested in the whole with not only with JY versus Kenny Omega. I'm also interested in what's gonna happen with Bullet Club because there definitely is a lot of infighting going on in there. So I'm very interested to see where it goes. And with Cody, I don't know if he's gonna have more of a presence this year in New Japan. 'Cause I know he recently lost the Ring of Honor title to Dalton Castle. So I don't know if his role is going to be expanded in New Japan. I hope it is because I think he's done like the past couple days. He's done his best work in ring for New Japan and just kind of like since and I know he's done great work as far as the character in Ring of Honor, but New Japan's a bigger stage, so I like to see him expand more there. Plus, I like to see Brandy more. That girl's hot, man. I can't get over how hot his wife is. I can't get over it. She is hot, but and she's a great and she's a great character too. I think she's wrestling in Ring of Honor right now. So okay, so all right, so moving on. So I'm interested in that. Plus, I'm very interested to see what happened with Jericho and Naito. But that's pretty much it for the video, man. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about both shows. And I am out. Peace.